West End singer and I'm a Celebrity star Ruthie Henshall hit the headlines recently after she made an emotional plea to the government to allow relatives of care home residents to see their loved ones. Now, that sparked a very passionate discussion here on Loose Women, where I had read what Ruthie had said and then I was talking about my mum, who's also in residential care. If my mum's had her first vaccine, could they not treat me as a primary care worker in essentially test me, and as long as I don't have COVID, she's had her vaccination, I could go in and physically sit in her room and talk to her? Because I think people really, really need to see their loved ones and to touch them and to hold them. Anyway, right, something fluffy and nice and funny now, because we don't want to upset you today. But we probably will, talking about this. It always does. And Ruthie's 87-year-old mum, she's got dementia and Parkinson's, and she has drastically deteriorated due to the lack of physical contact. Ruthie, it's so good to see you, and, you know, we'll probably both end up in tears, but there are so many people watching this. Well, this will resonate. The first time we talked about it, it's because I had read what you had been saying, and when you said, you know, we are the eyes, ears and memories for our loved ones, that really struck a chord with me, because I can't fault the care that my mum receives, but carers don't know the history of that person and they don't have that contact. When was the last time you actually physically saw your mum?
It was before I went into the castle, so it was back in October. And then they brought in the rule of not being able to have more than one person go and see her behind a screen. And that had to be the same person each time. And because I was going away into the castle and my other sister works as a teaching assistant, it fell to my other sister to be the one who went in. And so I haven't been able to see her. Recently, they've moved her into a front room and I've been able to stand at her window and wave, but I'm shocked, just absolutely shocked and devastated by the shell of a woman that I see. And I absolutely put that down to, because before the first lockdown, she was walking, she was talking. I had a whole conversation with her because my father passed away last April, and we phoned her and spoke to her about it. And we had a completely wonderful conversation for about half an hour. And then 4 months later, she couldn't walk, she couldn't talk, and they were mushing up her food. So she couldn't swallow properly. And for me, that was her being in her room 24/7, because the carers were coming round to each room, as opposed to putting them in the front room where they are with other people being stimulated. If you think about all the entertainment that can't go into a care home now, there's, you know, no music going in there. And we know what music they like. And you know, when Helen Whatley recently announced the volunteer scheme, where they were asking for volunteers to go into care homes, strangers, to do a check-in and chat with these people, with people in care homes, they would receive the vaccine and they could go in. Now, that incensed all of us who've got loved ones in there, because let's just talk about the fact that we are being told. I applied on the website and I said I had experience as a carer until the government terminated my employment. And the fact is that we've been told that we can't go into the care home that our loved one is in. So if you apply to be a volunteer carer, you still can't get in to see your loved one. And it's a postcode lottery. They have given advice again that care homes can open. It is not a law. So it means that each care home can have their own rules. And I was told yesterday, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, I mean, we have a government spokesperson has told us that this is guidance rather than being mandatory, as per all our guidance to care homes. They said we do encourage and urge them to follow the latest guidance as the default position, but do not force. So, Janet, it will be down to the care home itself deciding.
What I want to say to you, Ruthie, is I feel that the human rights of residents in care homes are being treated in a second division way. And that, can you explain to me how all the major charities have banded together now to try and force the government to relax the rules a little more?
Well, it's the rights for residents that we're campaigning with, and basically, you know, if you've got my mother's had the vaccine, if you've got a lateral flow test, PPE, and a temperature check, the risk is so minimal compared with the risk of these people dying. I am watching my mother. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm watching my mother die from a window. And I'm sorry to get so emotional, but it is so frustrating because the indecision of this government.
Of course it is.
You know, I can't work out what the government are saying half the time.
Yeah. No.
And I think that in years to come, we will look back at this and look back at all these people who are in care homes, who can't see their loved ones and they've gone downhill. And we will think, how did we let this happen?
Yeah.
And I know it's not just care homes, but they have no voice. They have no voice.
Well, it's the Alzheimer's Society and Dementia UK have teamed up for the Rights for Residents campaign, and they're actually warning the government. They're calling this a hidden catastrophe, Kelly.
But it is, though, it is, though, isn't it, Ruthie? Because what you're saying is the difference between your mum before and after human contact is so devastating, and you're saying that you're missing out on this process of end of life, possibly. You don't know how long she's got, but you're not able to be part of that journey, and that relationship is having such a devastating effect on you and your family.
Oh, huge, absolutely huge. And you know what we can say is that when all we're asking for is 2 hours a week, 2 essential family carers, and to get the law passed that enshrines our rights as family carers, because you are going to find that the care sector is going to be decimated by this, because there are people now who are choosing not to put their loved ones in care homes because they don't know whether they'll be able to see them or not.
Absolutely.
So
Ruthie,
this is going to have such a knock-on effect.
Ruth, you know, I lost my mum to dementia, and I'm a qualified social worker, and the end of life is so important to have that structure around what they want and have their dignity. And I'm hearing your story, and it's heartbreaking. And I tried to console myself with some of the great memories of my mum and some of the amazing qualities that she has. And just to honour your mum and know that we're thinking about you, what are some of the great qualities of your mum, or the things that she, you know, used to do or does that remind you of how amazing she is?
Well, she was a teacher, a drama teacher and an English teacher. And I get stopped all the time in my hometown, not for anything I do, it's to say, your mother taught me and she inspired me. And I was at the Oliviers one year, and a lady came up to me who'd just won an award, and she said, your mother is the reason that I'm here and that I have an award. And so we go back to that wonderful thing of teachers changing your life. They have that ability to change your life. And my mother was not an easy lady, my goodness. And I cannot imagine how annoying it was for her pupils when she sit there and go, oh, my Ruthie, because of course her daughter to her, you know.
It's lovely to hear. Yeah, it's lovely to hear those memories, because we do have to hold on to those, Ruthie, because you know this campaign is gathering pace now. Rights for Residents. It's the Alzheimer's Society Dementia UK, and they are urging the government to make emergency legislation, which means we'll have a right to go in and visit our loved ones, not just a desire. Ruthie, we wish you well, and your sisters and your lovely mum, Gloria. I hope you get to see her very, very soon. And everybody who's watching, who's in a similar position, you know, it's so, so difficult. But, you know, let's try and move it forward. Thank you, Ruthie.
Thank you, Ruth. And you know, my heart is with you as well.
Thank you, darling. Thank you very much.